I think that we can finally say that 2025 has been a monumental year for the XRP ledger, not just in terms of price action for XRP. I'm talking more so about the fact that this has been an incredible year for development around the XRP ledger and even adoption around the XRP ledger as well. Now, the big thing that I'm actually fully focused on is tokenization, because today we do have millions of dollars on the XRP ledger. Outside of the XRP ledger, we have billions of dollars around this space tied to RWAs, and I do think that eventually we will see trillions of dollars in this space. Now, when it comes to the XRP ledger, today we're at millions. I do believe that we will be at billions much faster than a lot of people think, and I do think that trillions of dollars will live on the XRP ledger and be traded 24/7, 365. I've addressed this many times over. Now, we're still very early on the tokenization boom, but with how fast this has been moving, because even right now, if we actually look at just tokenization on these public networks, we're at about $13.18 billion. It's actually up about almost 5% in the last 30 days. And this just kind of continues to push to the upside. Now, XRP is at number 10 currently at about $160 million. We're going to talk about that here in a moment. But outside of this, the total RWA value on chain is about close to $25 billion. Now, this has been jumping around a bit, around like the $24 billion mark, but it is up about 6% in the last 30 days. And we just continue to see more and more news around tokenization. For example, if I go over here to news, we could see all of the tokenization announcements in just the last 24 hours, the last 48 hours as well. And it just continues to pile up because tokenization just continues to become a very hot narrative. But when it comes to the XRP ledger, right, the main thing that I'm actually looking at with the XRP ledger is that we're at $160 million right now, top 10. I do think that by the end of this year, we will be in the top 5 area, which would mean that we should have about $415 million plus on the XRPL by the end of this year. Reason why I say that is because of all of the announcements happening. So far this year, we've been witnessing some pretty big moves. If we actually look at the tokenization assets, we have a pretty much a wide range of assets from stocks, US Treasury, stablecoins, non-US government debt, and even real estate. This continues to pile up. I mean, in the beginning of this year, we had probably about maybe 5, I think, tokenized assets on the XRPL. We're at 12 now. Stablecoin initiatives as well. Right now, we have about 2 stablecoins on the XRPL. There's actually about 5 or 6 that have yet to be added to the XRPL list here. So there's still a lot more that has yet to actually hit RWA.xyz. I do think that we will start to see that really kind of flowing on chain over the coming weeks and months, because again, it's been pretty slow on a lot of networks to get updated on RWA.xyz. But outside of that, let's actually go to some of the announcements that we have witnessed so far this year. Number 1, the Dubai Land Department's pioneering real estate tokenization project with Control Alt is a massive milestone for Dubai's real estate market. Couldn't be more delighted that the XRP ledger has been selected as the blockchain of choice for this project thanks to its decade-long reliability and stability in tokenizing and exchanging digital and RWAs. Now, if I actually go to this announcement real quick, we could see that they have a pretty big focus when it comes to this overall move. I mean, right now, there's only about a few $1 million tied to this, but the initiative is projected to contribute to the growth of the AED $16 billion tokenized real estate market by 2033, equivalent to 7% of Dubai's total property transactions. So right now, even though if we actually go over here, there's only about roughly a little under like $3 million or so tied to the real estate market on the XRPL, we know that the overall market for this, or at least the overall projection value tied to this, is in the billions of dollars. So this is just a very good start so far. And there's already 4 properties tokenized on the XRP ledger as well, which is a huge thing to focus on considering the fact that the global real estate market is over $600 trillion, or at least that's what we are hearing from the XRP ledger, or I should say the Ripple X team around the XRP ledger. On top of that, we also witnessed another big move this year, which was from the digital commercial paper DCP, which is now live on the XRP ledger as well. This was from Apex 2025, administered by Guggenheim Treasury Services. And this was with a $280 million issuance already out there from the DCP. But on the XRP ledger, we can actually see how much is tied to this currently, which is about $10 million. We don't know how much fully will be tokenized on the XRP ledger through this, but this is definitely something to focus on, considering the fact that it was rated Prime 1 by Moody's, and it is a fixed income asset, which is secured by US Treasuries as well on the XRP ledger. This was just another big announcement. On top of that, we witnessed another announcement from Apex, which was Ripple and Web3 Salon, supported by Jetro, are launching a new partnership for Japan-based Web3 startups open to early stage teams building on the XRP ledger with a focus on DeFi tokenization and payments. This was just another accelerator program essentially for the XRPL, which is again something to definitely focus on, considering the fact that it will accelerate adoption and growth around the XRPL. But we witnessed another big announcement just recently. This got announced on the 3rd, and this was Singapore continues to lead in blockchain innovation. Ripple and Tenity Global are set to launch an XRP Ledger Accelerator program to support builders and startups across APAC. This is a 12-week program with a focus on, and no surprise here, RWA tokenization, institutional DeFi, and AI plus blockchain, and up to $200,000 in funding. The accelerator reflects Ripple's continued commitment to driving utility and growth in APAC. We actually heard from Fiona Murray. Singapore has firmly established itself as a forward-thinking leader in digital innovation. This accelerator will help cultivate new talent and unlock scalable use cases on the XRPL. Then we also heard from managing partner at Tenity. We have the accelerator isn't just a program, it's a launchpad for builders solving real problems with blockchain. This is more than an accelerator, it's a platform for visionary founders to scale globally, reimagine finance, and push the boundaries of what's possible with AI and blockchain. And then, of course, we also heard down here from Digital Industry Singapore, accelerator programs like this give startups the right foundation, tools, networks, and expertise to build real-world solutions that meet regulatory standards and drive economic value. Applications are now open for the XRP Ledger Accelerator, kicking off this September. But this is just very similar to what we read with Web3 Salon. This is a huge move, and it's going to accelerate a lot of innovation and growth around the XRPL, which we've been witnessing so much of so far this year. Now we have down here, if we actually scroll down, that Singapore has rapidly emerged as one of the world's leading centers for digital asset and blockchain innovation. Singapore's blockchain sector attracted nearly $750 million in investments in 2024, making up approximately 60% of total fintech funding within the country, and is home to over 300 crypto and blockchain companies. Singapore has also become a launchpad for global blockchain ventures and innovation. Now, we do have that the accelerator program around the XRPL, commencing in September of this year, will run twice annually and support startups and corporate innovation teams, including those based in Singapore, developing next-generation blockchain solutions. The focus here is RWA tokenization, institutional DeFi, and even the intersection of AI and blockchain, which we already know are like the key main narratives around crypto so far this year. But everything that we're starting to see around the XRPL, from the development side to the deployments, even the partnerships, it's accelerating growth and expansion of the XRPL in a huge way. All of this will lead to great use cases really launching on the XRPL, utility expanding, and just the global adoption of the ledger itself. I love to see these types of announcements. Now, let's go back to tokenization real quick, because today we have about $160 million. We don't know how much more value is going to come from some of these recent announcements, but one thing that we do know is that the tokenization revolution is booming on the XRP ledger. Millions today, billions soon, and trillions eventually. This is what I said because we also witnessed on the 4th of July this announcement from Ripple. In one of LATAM's largest tokenization efforts today, Mercado Bitcoin is bringing over $200 million in RWAs on-chain to the XRP ledger, including fixed income and equity income instruments. The assets will connect to a network trusted by more than 70 central banks and financial institutional players. This is huge. It's huge because we have $160 million on chain. This will make the XRP ledger have $360 million on chain officially. $360 million would add XRP into the top 6 level. Very close to the top 5, which is exactly why I said that by the end of this year, we should be in that top 5 position. This is the announcement. Here's the full breakdown. So Mercado Bitcoin, the leading digital asset platform in Latin America, has announced plans to tokenize more than $200 million in permissioned RWAs, including fixed income and equity income instruments on the XRP ledger. The initiative is one of the largest tokenization efforts by a Latin American institution on the XRP ledger and a strategic move in Mercado Bitcoin's international expansion to increase global liquidity access to regulated digital products across South America and Europe. A growing market with trillions in potential, according to a 2025 report by Ripple and Boston Consulting Group, the tokenization of RWAs is projected to grow from approximately $0.6 trillion in 2025 to nearly $19 trillion by 2033. This is why I said trillions of dollars will be flooding on chain in a very short amount of time. I don't think that we will have to wait until 2030 to see the first trillion. I think that we see the first trillion by the end of 2026. The company has already tokenized more than $1 billion in RWAs while maintaining a zero default rate. Mercado Bitcoin also connects its ecosystem to one of the most widely adopted networks by more than 70 central banks, regulators, and major financial institutions around the world. Now, Ripple is a key contributor to the XRP ledger. They're focused on bringing high-quality regulated assets on-chain and is supporting Mercado Bitcoin's integration onto the XRP ledger. They already worked with Ripple by using Ripple payments to facilitate cross-border treasury flows between Brazil and Portugal, and on the listing of RLUSD, which we already know what RLUSD is. And they were also the first client of the solution in the country, gaining access to a faster, more secure, and cost-efficient international payment system. Now, we have a few quotes here. Across Latin America, we're seeing forward-looking institutions explore how tokenization can improve access and efficiency in financial markets. Mercado Bitcoin's integration with the XRP ledger shows how public blockchain infrastructure is being trusted by institutions and is becoming a reliable foundation for bringing regulated financial products to the market. With the kind of infrastructure the XRP ledger offers, it's now possible to bring those assets on chain in a way that meets institutional expectations for cost, speed, and compliance. So we love to see this. This is great. And again, this is just more tokenization and even institutional adoption around the XRP ledger. At the same exact time that if we go back to the XRP, I should say the Ripple X Dev account, if we actually look at this, right, we just witnessed the EVM sidechain go live. On top of this, we also just witnessed key infrastructure around the XRP ledger also go live. And if we scroll down, I know it's a little bit further down. It's actually prior to the announcement of the sidechain going fully live. We just witnessed a few major upgrades to the XRP ledger. And this is around a few things. Batch transactions, which was, again, a pretty big upgrade. But the main thing that I was actually looking at was the announcements with like Wormhole, which was based around developers and institutions, as well as the permissioned DEX, which was all around institutional DeFi use cases. This is stablecoin flows. This is RWA flows. What we are witnessing right now in 2025, it's not just a tokenization boom on the XRP ledger. It's making sure that the XRP ledger has every single tool that it needs to service institutional players at scale. This is the year where we are witnessing the XRP ledger move from, a retail-focused network, which it never really was retail-focused, but we're now starting to see everything the XRP ledger needs to fully embrace institutions at scale become a reality. Tokenization, stablecoins, institutional adoption, those are the big three to focus on this year, and they're all booming on the XRP ledger. I'm very excited about the future for XRP and the XRPL. I'm very excited about the future for tokenization initiatives. Right now, we're at billions of dollars. I do think that we will be at trillions by the end of 2026. I think these networks in this space, like even the XRP ledger, right now, 160 million on the XRPL. I think that will grow 10x very quick. Eventually, we will be at 100x, and who knows? The sky is the limit around tokenization. And the networks that are extremely efficient, that are built for tokenization like the XRPL, I know for a fact that they will be just some of the biggest networks around tokenization in the coming months and years ahead. Because again, the efficiencies on these networks should not go unnoticed. We should 100% fully focus on those efficiencies because they are what will enable tokenization at scale. And remember, tokenization at scale is just not how much money is going to be on chain. It's how much money can be on chain, but also transact it, trade it, swapped, borrowed against, lent against as well. 24/7, 365. Some of these networks in this space are just not capable of doing that. The XRP ledger is, which is why I do think that the value on the XRPL will grow by 10, 100, who knows? It could be even in the thousands of X's because of how much money is actually out there. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely like, subscribe, set notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.